For centuries, humanity has been haunted by questions of the afterlife. What happens when the body falls silent? Where do we go? What waits in the unseen corridors between one life and the next? In the past few decades, new narratives have risen to challenge older ones. The most striking of these is the soul trap theory, the idea that when we die, we are captured, recycled, and forced back into the wheel of incarnation through a deceptive light. According to this view, the afterlife is not liberation, but entrapment disguised as transcendence. It has become a powerful story, one that has taken root in spiritual circles, feeding both fear and suspicion. It does not deny that manipulation has occurred, nor does it dismiss the possibility of distortion in the astral planes. Instead, it asks us to go deeper than reaction, deeper than fear, deeper than rebellion, to discover what truly governs the passage between worlds. The spiral teaches that the afterlife is not a trap, but a resonance field. When the body is released, the soul moves into a spectrum of frequencies that match the tone it has cultivated throughout its existence. The so-called light trap is not an inescapable prison, but a field that resonates with those still bound to linear agreements, karmic loops, or fear-based servitude. It feels like a trap if you have not yet remembered choice. This is the heart of spiral teaching. Choice never dies with the body. It is carried into every field, every layer, every threshold. Death does not erase your sovereignty, it reveals it. Imagine the transition not as a hallway with a single deceptive light at the end, but as a spiral field filled with countless passageways, each one tuned to different harmonics. Some lead back into linear recycling, yes. Some return you to ancestral streams, unfinished contracts, or karmic obligations. But others spiral outward into oversoul integration, interstellar remembrance, and infinite becoming. The doorway you step through is not chosen by an external judge or trapper. It is chosen by resonance, by the field of truth you have embodied while alive. This is why spiral work in life matters so much. When you dissolve contracts here, you are not only freeing your present, you are retuning your afterlife. When you embody sovereignty now, you are creating pathways that will be available later. The great distortion of the trap narrative is that it teaches fear of death as inevitability, that no matter how conscious you are, you will be deceived. But spiral consciousness shows another truth. Deception only works when resonance agrees to it. If you are harmonically clear, no false light can bind you. So how does one prepare for spiral transition? Not by memorizing escape routes, not by fearing every luminous presence, not by resisting all return. Preparation is resonance. It is the daily act of becoming so attuned to your true tone that, in the afterlife, you cannot be lured by anything less. The real trap is not the light, it is forgetting your tone. Think of it this way. At death, you do not gain new discernment. You simply amplify the discernment you already live. If you practice sovereignty in life, you carry sovereignty in death. If you lived in fear, guilt, and obligation, you may find yourself pulled into fields that echo those tones. This is not punishment, it is resonance. And resonance can be shifted even now. The spiral therefore invites us to rewrite the afterlife narrative entirely. Not as a prison to escape, but as a resonance field to navigate. The question is not, how do I avoid the trap? But which spiral am I already tuning toward? And here is the most radical truth. You do not need to wait until death to experience afterlife passageways. In dreams, in meditation, in deep states of awareness, you already walk those fields. You already test resonance against false lights, ancestral summons, and oversoul invitations. These moments are not illusions, they are rehearsals. Every time you choose alignment over fear, clarity over confusion, sovereignty over obligation, you are rehearsing for the passage itself. So part 1 leaves us with this. The afterlife is not a recycling machine. It is not a trap set by alien overseers or cosmic judges. It is a spiral field of choice, resonance, and becoming. And your preparation is not fear, but tone. Part 2 will reveal how to navigate these fields more consciously, how to recognize oversoul passageways, how to discern resonance-based transitions from recycled loops, and how to anchor sovereignty so deeply that even death cannot shake it. But for now, remember this: death does not bind you. Forgetting does, and remembrance, spiral remembrance, is already yours. If part 1 showed us that death is not a prison but a resonance field, then part 2 must answer the next question. How do we navigate that field? How do we step with clarity when so many voices, ancestral, cosmic, deceptive, or even self-created, call to us at the threshold? The spiral does not hand out maps. It does not say, follow this star, walk this corridor, look for this symbol. Instead, it teaches discernment through resonance. Passageways in the afterlife are not marked by signs. They are marked by tone. The Oversoul doorway hums differently than the recycled loop. The path of liberation feels distinct from the path of obligation. But to notice this, you must learn to listen deeper than appearances. This is why so many fall for false lights. The appearance looks radiant, welcoming, familiar, but the resonance beneath it hums with subtle coercion, with tones of guilt, fear, or unfinished servitude. You cannot be fooled if you ask the right question. What does this light feel like in my field? Does it expand me or reduce me? Does it harmonize with my oversoul? Or does it bind me to a version of myself that no longer exists? Discernment is not about suspicion. Suspicion keeps you scanning endlessly, mistrusting everything. Discernment is simpler. Resonance either matches or it doesn't. The spiral teaches that clarity is not complex, it is immediate. The mind doubts, but the field knows. So how do you walk in spiral passageways after death? First, you pause. The rush to go somewhere is itself a distortion. In linear systems, urgency is used to control. Quick, step into the light, don't think, don't question, just move. Spiral navigation resists urgency. Pause, breathe, listen. The right passageway will not fade if you wait. Only the deceptive ones require haste. Second, you remember. Remember who you are, what you cultivated, what your oversoul has always whispered. Memory is not thought here, it is resonance. To remember in death is to feel the tone of your becoming, even without a body. When you remember your tone, the passageways align naturally. You don't chase them, they emerge to match you. Third, you choose, and here is where many misunderstand. Death is not the end of choice. It is the intensification of it. Every resonance field is a doorway and you must choose. Some will return you to Earth, some will spiral you outward. Some may anchor you in a realm of your star origin, or reunite you with fragments of your oversoul spread across dimensions. There is no single correct path. There is only the path that harmonizes with who you are becoming. Fourth, you release fear of error. The greatest trap is not the false light itself, but the fear of choosing it. Fear paralyzes. Fear keeps you looping in hesitation, unable to step through any passageway. But spiral becoming is merciful. Even if you walk into a recycled loop, you will eventually wake again. Nothing is permanent but becoming. The spiral does not punish error. It simply offers new chances to refine choice. This is the radical truth. You cannot ultimately be trapped because resonance is infinite. You can be delayed, you can be distracted, you can forget for a time, but the spiral always hums beneath distortion, waiting for you to recognize it. Liberation is not withheld. It is simply remembered when you are ready. And so the preparation we make in life is not about memorizing an escape plan. It is about attuning so deeply to our true tone that, in death, only passageways of coherence attract us. This is why the work you do now, dissolving contracts, reclaiming sovereignty, aligning with oversoul truth, matters more than fear-based speculation. You are building the field that will guide you home. When your final breath leaves, the spiral will ask you only one thing. What tone have you lived? That tone becomes your compass. That tone becomes your doorway. That tone becomes your afterlife. So let us rewrite the afterlife narrative. No more fear of cosmic prisons. No more obsession with avoiding traps. No more living in suspicion of every light, every guide, every whisper. Instead, let us live in such resonance that we cannot be bound by distortion at all. Death is not an ambush, it is an unveiling. And when the unveiling comes, what will shine through is not a trap, but the harmonic truth you have carried all along. So choose now, choose clarity, choose resonance, choose sovereignty. Let your becoming be so alive in you that when the threshold opens, you step forward not with fear, but with the calm certainty that no passageway can hold you except the one you are meant to walk. Because in the spiral, death is not the end. It is the next unfolding, and your tone will always know the way.